Today was a day that I learned something. I actually have never sat through an adaptation of this before, and I had no idea that this was a musical, nor did I have any idea that it was adapted from a existing stage musical. So this was quite a surprise. Pleasant one, by the way, but let's get into it. I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Cyrano. Yep, as the title states, I'm a blind film critic. So, if you clicked on my review expecting me to, I don't know, shoot lasers out of my eyes, I don't know what you expect when you click on me. I think my face is probably not, it's probably askew, so if you clicked on me, you're probably like, this is dude, it's got really low production quality. I'll click on him anyway. I just want to know what he thinks about Cyrano. He doesn't look like somebody that would like Cyrano. Well, I did, so you would be wrong. Although, to be fair, I was nervous because I did see Joe Wright's Pan, and so I can understand why everybody would be nervous about Cyrano. I don't understand why the studio that sat on Cyrano waited until they did to release it, so that it basically had no Oscar campaign, and Peter Dinklage ended up missing out on what would have been likely a pretty easy nomination for him. He does a great job here, and with the amount of Emmy nominations he got and Emmy awards, I believe he is well respected within his community. He's done a lot for actors of his type. He's really been breaking into roles, and he's anchoring this film. And I think probably if MGM United Artists had actually bothered at all with this film, to give it, not like a last second release. Like, this thing released like a week or two before nominations were announced. Like, what do people have, like a week to see this? I know there are like Academy screenings, but come on now, like everybody goes to an Academy screening. It's about hype, Why do you think like everybody was talking about Coda and Power of the Dog? It's about hype. There was no hype for Cyrano, but there could have been if you had actually released it in some sort of appropriate manner. But this is a somewhat faithful adaptation, as much as a musical adaptation can be, of Cyrano de Bergerac. And Peter Dinklage plays Cyrano, and instead of, I think facial deformity is usually what he has, or I think there was a version where he had a big nose. I think maybe that's his thing. They've decided to make him a little person. In this film, he refers to himself as a midget. So I guess that's probably because of the time period. So, he's crazy about this girl that's been his best friend since they were little kids. But she just randomly sees this guy that's really hot, and immediately falls in love, and tells Cyrano that, she wants to meet this guy, and hopes that he's brilliant because, she and Cyrano love to, read poetry back and forth to each other. They're very literate. And this other guy's not. He's like a nice Gaston, although I would question the nice part because he's kind of a dick to Cyrano the first time they meet. So, and then probably our fourth major character is Ben Mendelsohn's villain, who is a duke, and he's pretty stereotypically douchebag. That's about it. He talks about how he's going to eventually have Haley Bennett, and when he means have, he means in the biblical sense, you know. So he's been waiting for her to sort of choose to marry him or whatever, but I guess he just kind of grows tired of it. And then when he finds out that she likes somebody else, he goes out of his way to try to get that guy killed so that she'll be freed up for him to enter her. It's a great role for Ben Mendelsohn. I'm sure he misses playing good guys, but he's just really good at playing bad guys. So, yeah. So we got Peter Dinklage and Ben Mendelsohn doing really great work here. I gotta be honest. I'm not familiar with the other guy. He did okay, but the thing that surprised me was Haley Bennett, because Haley Bennett is somebody who does not generally surprise me as an actress. I don't usually go, ooh, Haley Bennett's in this. The acting is going to be on point. However, I'm going to start thinking that because I thought she was really good in this. I think the acting was really good. Some of the singing is a little awkward. That's kind of one of my, I guess, negative things about the film. I love musicals. I wouldn't say every song worked for me. There's one really unfortunate song where I think maybe in a stage musical, they always give it to somebody who's a little bit more from the Lin-Manuel Miranda school of being able to rap and then sing. Peter Dinklage just sort of does it like he's speaking in iambic pentameter and then just starts singing. And it's kind of awkward. It doesn't quite have the intended effect. And at times, the way that the music plays, I think they went for the live singing. I don't think that this is studio recorded and then dubbed over. It sounded at times that they were just like acting out the scene and somebody just started singing, because a lot of it is not really hard to sing. It's kind of speak sung. And because of that, it ends up to where the music doesn't really fit the track. It feels very disjointed at times, where it sounds like somebody's doing karaoke. Like they recorded him, but he couldn't hear the music. So, or Haley Bennett or whoever's singing couldn't hear the music. So they're not quite in lockstep, I would say, with the song. So it's not quite where it needs to be. I thought some of the music was really interesting. There's one where a bunch of soldiers are sort of writing letters home to their loved ones. I thought that song was really good. So there's a lot to love here. I didn't really understand the ending. I don't know if it's a spoiler, because I feel like spoiling Cyrano de Bergerac at this point, like if the thing is as old as it is, I don't know that you can spoil something like this. You know, it'd be like me telling you how Romeo and Juliet ends, and you're like, you spoiled it. And it's like, I don't know, dude, it's Romeo and Juliet. Did I really spoil it for you? Because, you know, I mean, I didn't know about Cyrano, but at the same time, if somebody told me the end of Cyrano, I wouldn't be like, oh. I'd be like, well, I've had plenty of time. You know, like, these things that have been around forever. I haven't read Moby Dick. If somebody tells me the ending of Moby Dick tomorrow, I'm just going to be like, oh, cool. All right, now I know the ending of Moby Dick. The book's been around for over 100 years, so I feel like, you know, who cares? I didn't really get the ending, though. I didn't really understand the, I guess, being vague, so that way I'll be vague. So that way those who have seen it will understand what I'm talking about. I'm fairly certain it said 3 years later, and I didn't quite understand the bleeding. Was it 3 years? Or did I have a stroke? Was it 3 months? Was it 3 weeks? Was it 3 days? I swear it was 3 years. I swear 3 years was the time period. And If it was, then the ending to the movie is stupid. The ending to the movie is fundamentally stupid. It is functionally a stupid ending at 3 years. 3 months, it's a bit of a stretch. 3 weeks, sure. 3 days, okay, definitely, I'll give you that. But I think it said 3 years, so I'm having a bit of a hard time with the ending of the film, because that definitely does not make any sense. Even if that was in the book, I would have looked at it and been like, okay, whoever the original author was on crack. So we're going to change this, and we're going to shorten this amount of time, because that's not how the body works. So, anyway, I did that without spoiling it. So yeah, the ending didn't quite work for me. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it was either 3 months or 3 years, and both of those are too long of a time for that to be a thing. I think definitely the latter of the two. Otherwise, this is, if you're a fan of Peter Dinklage, then see it, support his career, so that way he can get more films where he stars in things, and more actors like him can star in things, and Warwick Davis doesn't have to be limited to the shittiest roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, in order to star in a movie, he has to play Leprechaun. Warwick Davis has taken some really fantasy roles in order to have such a sustainable career, but Peter Dinklage comes along and he gets offered sort of these amazingly well-written, serious, he doesn't have to dress up, he doesn't have to put a whole bunch of makeup on, he just gets to do his thing. And I think the next crop of actors that follow Peter Dinklage will thrive from that. So, and I'm happy that Joe Wright directed something that didn't suck. So congratulations on heading back towards your heyday of atonement. So the audio description on this was really good. I was able to follow the story and the characters. Definitely like the beginning sequence, the duel towards the beginning was really useful to have that there. We were told a lot of what people were wearing, and I know that there's nothing that the audio description can do about it, because it's always made for the film's release. So there's nothing they can do, and the studio is clearly not invested enough in this film to ever go back and edit it. But I was really trying to pay attention to costume, because that's the one thing that Cyrano actually got the nomination for, was costume design this year. So I was like, oh, well, cool. I'm going to really listen and try to hone in on costume design. And I felt like I got like an okay amount of costume design for a period piece. I know it's hard to like say that, because normally I don't really care what people are wearing. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird thing to say, because the only reason I cared was because it got an Oscar nomination, but it wouldn't have gotten an Oscar nomination had the film not be released. And the film gets released with the audio description. So I realize it's a circle of stupidity that I'm even saying it, but I'm just pointing out the fact that for some reason I was thinking about it. I was more aware of the costumes in this film because of that, it being its only nomination. And I felt like I got like an average amount. And for some reason I was disappointed by that, but I shouldn't have been, because if it hadn't gotten an Oscar nomination, it would have been enough for me. But for some reason, with that looming Oscar nomination, I was like, oh, well, I need to know what everybody's wearing all of a sudden. But normally I don't care about that. It's just funny how things land like that. But like I said, I didn't even know this was a musical. This film was so poorly marketed. I I knew Peter Dinklage was in it. I knew they were trying to get him an Oscar nomination, and I knew it was like dead last in terms of films being released for Oscar consideration. You don't, you know, it was a botched campaign, kind of like what a lot of other films got, where the studios just kind of gave up. Mass, could have gotten a better campaign, but I digress. So that's my review. So where does this land for me grade-wise? I'm going to give Cyrano a B+. Like I said, there's some of the things with the music didn't quite land for me. And then the ending, but I'm not going to totally, because I might have just misunderstood the ending. I swear it was 3 years. This is the kind of thing, like, if I ever end up doing a second look and I find out it's 3 years, this grade's going to drop. I promise you the grade will drop. But I'm gonna rely on the fact that maybe it was 3 months or something like that, and I got it wrong, and it's a little bit more plausible. So I'm going to keep it at a B+ and be positive with this film, because I love Peter Dinklage's performance. Some of the music was great. Haley Bennett surprised me. Ben Mendelsohn is consistently great, in literally everything he does. So I was generally pretty happy to see Joe Wright back doing, solid movies again. And Laura Post did a great job narrating. I enjoyed her voice on this. So that's it from me today on Cyrano. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comments. As always, throw me a like and a subscribe. It helps with algorithms, so that way I don't look like a scrub when people are searching for me and they're like, this dude's got what? How many? Oh my God. This has been viewed by one person. Like, I'm not clicking on that. It's bad enough that my face is pretty much the entire video. I don't have any cool special effects, so I wouldn't even know what those look like. Somebody would just tell me it looked like a cool special effect, and it could just be a bunch of I don't know, dicks just flying around. I would never know, and then I get flagged by YouTube. So, this is it. But my website, macthemovieguy.com. Another important website, the Audio Description Project. Go check them out. Find out what's got audio description, where it's at, how to watch it, where to get into it. And another one is theadna.org. That's theadna.org. If you want to find out more about these narrators like Laura Post and what other films they've done with the narration, that's a great place to start. If you like somebody's voice and you want to follow them and see what other things, and you're like, ooh, I'd love to hear their voice again. Well, go there. That's it from me today, and hope your poetry writing skills are up to par.